We're here with Rosemary Braun in March 2008, and she's going to tell us about her musical training and various musical accomplishments.
I started piano lessons when I was 7 years old. The teacher, she lived right behind us. She was Mrs. Flanagan, and she had 10 children, and she was a really good teacher. She thought I was 8 because she never started kids before they were 8, but because I was tall, she thought I was 8. So my brother Rob and I started taking piano lessons, and I really enjoyed them, and I did really well, and I just went straight through the books really quickly, and I just loved taking piano lessons. And so I took piano from Mrs. Flanagan until I was in grade 6 piano. I think I was probably in grade 5 or 6 at school. And she didn't take students past grade 6 piano, so I had to switch to a different teacher. So then I started taking from Mrs. Norris, who lived across town in Kitchener. And I either had to get driven to my lessons or I took my bike. And so I took lessons from Mrs. Norris for a number of years. And she put me in the Kiwanis Music Festival the first year that I took from her. And I didn't know anything about the Kiwanis Music Festival, but I went and I played. And I actually got a first place ribbon the first year and a third place ribbon. And I was surprised because I was just waiting for someone else's name to be called for the first place, and they called mine. It was like, how did I win? But I just loved piano and I loved playing. Let's see, what else is here? In grade 6 at school, at Franklin School, they selected a number of students to play some string instruments. And I was one of the ones selected, and because of my hand size, they put me on the viola. And I didn't want to be on the viola, I wanted to play the cello. But I got stuck with the viola. So for grades 6 and 7, I played the viola at school. And in grade 8, there was a teacher who he was okay with me switching, and I switched. I said, oh, I'm going to want to play viola, I want to play cello. And so he let me switch. So in grade 8 at school, I played cello. And then when I got to grade 9 at school, I still played cello, but I wanted to take private lessons. So my mom and dad got me a teacher, and I took lessons from her for a year, I think. And then I got a different teacher. He was actually, his name is Ivan Williams, and he was the principal cellist of the KW Symphony. He was very good. And so I took lessons from him for a few years. And then when I was graduating from high school, I wanted to go to WLU for music. And so I applied, and I got in, and I was playing cello. And at that point I stopped taking piano lessons because it was too hard to do it all. But during piano lessons, I took the grade 3 exam, and I took the grade 5 and the grade 6 exam, and I was in grade 8 piano when I quit. I was just about to take the grade 8 exam, but I never did. So when I got to WLU, I had a new cello teacher, and her name was Gisela Depkat. She's actually a famous recording artist, and so I learned a lot from her. And I took cello lessons until I decided to switch out of the music program and go into the computer science program. And then after that, I I stopped cello lessons. While I was at WLU, I played in the orchestra and in a couple other groups and had great fun. But I also realized that the cello is an instrument you can't really play by yourself unless you're a great solo artist. And I wasn't that great, and I wasn't good enough to get into the KW Symphony, so I realized that my options were limited with the cello. So when I switched to computer science, I just basically stopped playing. I kept the cello for a number of years, and then I decided I should sell it just because I didn't want it to fall into disrepair. And we had actually bought the cello when I was, I think, in high school. My mom and dad took me down to Toronto. We went to a big string store. It was beautiful. And I picked out a cello. It was $2,500, which was a lot at that time. So I wanted to save the investment, and we put the cello up for sale. And we sold it when Michelle was about 6 years old. And I haven't played since, obviously, because I don't have one. But I've always loved the sound of the cello. And it's probably one of the most beautiful instruments I know. But I also find playing the piano is just as fun. and I enjoy that. And it's an instrument you can play by yourself a lot better than a cello, so it worked out well. So, and that's it for my musical experiences and accomplishments.
Thank you, Rosemary, for sharing about your musical talents and everything related.